Vision is a thing of the past. So let's talk about it. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 22 of Let's Talk Wrestling. And today I'm going to be talking about what happened and what happened following Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia, and then Monday Night Raw in Perth, Australia, which obviously followed Crown Jewel. A lot has happened. Obviously we had the card itself, which I didn't actually go through doing pay-per-view predictions or reactions, so sorry about that, that's on me. Just didn't really have time. And I didn't really care that much about it. You know, you've got the women's tag titles, you've got the 2 Crown Jewel title matches, and then you had AJ Cena, which was fantastic, and you had Bronson versus Roman Reigns, which I'm sure I'll get to in this video. So just a quick review of that. We saw Rhea and Io beat Kairi Sane and Asuka turning heel. That's all going good. She seems to be stepping up into a bigger role since Naomi's gone, and I'm all for that. I like what's going on, so that's cool. Crown Jewel title match, men's side, Seth gets the win, which we'll obviously come to a bit later. Women's side, Stephanie Vaquer picks up a huge victory and is the only person to beat Tiffany Stratton one-on-one so far this year. Really good match, great finish. Just seemed like their match was cut into a bit by Roman and Bronson, which we'll get into a bit later on, as I said. And AJ Styles versus John Cena was playing the hits. It was paying homage to people. We nearly went for a 619. It was really, really good. AJ wore his old TNA gear. It was very nostalgic. These are 2 guys with such good chemistry. One of the best trilogies we have ever seen in WWE, in wrestling, from like 2016 to 17. Yeah, really, really good. But now we go on to Raw. Some stuff happens on Raw. But the main talking point is that the Vision is a thing of the past. Bron Breakker spears Seth Rollins. Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman take his side. Seth Rollins has elevated these 2 men to the upper mid-card, at least, more likely towards the main event, which I'm absolutely for. This is how factions should be. I'm not saying there shouldn't be long-standing factions that last a long time, and definitely I don't think everyone has to break up. You know, the New Day were a thing for nearly 10 years. You know, some factions, some tag teams are really good as they are, and they shouldn't be played with, you know, in that sort of way. The Bloodline lasted a long time. We saw that end. It's sort of dragged since the Bloodline ended. The Judgment Day storyline has really dragged. There's been a lot of tension between Finn and Dom for a long time. There was tension between Finn and Damian for a while as well. But this one, they got right to the point. The Vision started with the intention to raise Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker to the very top. And that is where they're going. Bronson Reed just got a huge win over Roman Reigns, probably the biggest win of his career. Bron Breakker has just, well, he's been on a tear anyway. 6 months ago, he was the Intercontinental Champion. You know, as Seth Rollins said 6 months ago, people were talking about potential. Now he's the real thing, sort of thing. But Bron Breakker was definitely there. Bronson Reed, I'm glad to have seen him in this spot, because he was definitely getting a big push last year with the Seth Rollins stuff when he was fighting Seth Rollins and he destroyed him. And now he's getting that renewed push because he's really good. He's a really good big man. So it's good to see him. And the faction has done its job. Paul Heyman never really worked in the group, but Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker have come out of it much, much stronger and higher up the card than when they went into it. Seth Rollins is still the World Heavyweight Champion. Matter of fact, he's the Crown Jewel Champion after beating Cody Rhodes with the help of Bronson and Bron and Paul. You know, with the help of the Vision, which he then understated on Monday Night Raw, saying he never needed anybody. And then he asked Braun to do the little twitch, the little bark he does, which is that the reason why he went mental at him? If it is, then fair enough, you know. But we saw that breakup a lot earlier than I think a lot of people were expecting. That, you know, we sort of saw, or some people thought that this was going, Seth holds the title through to the Royal Rumble. Braun Breaker maybe wins the Royal Rumble, or he wins the Elimination Chamber to go on to WrestleMania to fight Seth for the belt. You know, it comes full circle. But he's turned on him now, where God knows what happens at Survivor Series War Games, because it shouldn't be War Games every year, in my opinion. I think it sort of takes away the specialness of it. But I don't know what they're going to do, because there isn't really a big faction now outside of the Judgment Day, which is smaller than it used to be as well. So I don't know where they go for this. The Vision is no more. If that's it. I mean, Braun and Bronson could be on one side and then Seth's on the other side, but it's all, who knows what's going on now. CM Punk, wherever he is, I don't actually have a CM Punk figure to hand. Oh yeah, I do. CM Punk obviously comes into this because he was at one time the World Heavyweight Champion before Seth Rollins cashed in his briefcase on him. Now, once again, he is the #1 contender, beating Jey Uso and beating LA Knight to earn the #1 contendership. So where does he factor into this? Does CM Punk win the belt? Do they take the belt away from the Vision storyline? Do the Vision need the belt? Does Braun Breaker go for the belt himself? Does he sabotage that match? Does he go for the belt right now? Or does he go for Seth Rollins? Does he then turn his attention onto the World Heavyweight Championship some way down the line? Who knows? WrestleMania is looking pretty hard to predict as of right now. A few months ago, you would have said Rollins versus Breaker, or Rollins versus Sammy, maybe. Now, and I probably would have went Punk Cody in the other side of things, but now I don't know where you go from here, which is interesting because I think the writing's been on the wall for quite a lot of the last sort of Manias. You know, from Cody comes in at WrestleMania 38, everyone sort of thought, right, if Roman doesn't drop the belt to Drew at Clash of the Castle and then Sammy at Elimination Chamber, Cody's going to have it at WrestleMania. Cody's going to win. He doesn't. And then you think, right, you know there's a year now that Cody has to burn because he's got the title coming the next year, and he did, to be fair. The other main event was more unpredictable because The Rock came back and everything like that came into it. But then this year, again, you had Cody Cena, which was one option we saw coming, or Cody Punk as well. Could have also worked. Cena Gunther would have worked over Jey. But then you had the Roman Punk Rollins, which, you know, that could always main event, to be fair. I don't know what I'm on about now, but yeah, Punk, we don't know where he comes into this. Obviously, Roman still has a part to play in this whole ordeal. He's had his problems with the Vision, with Braun Breaker, with Bronson Reed. Do him and Seth Rollins team up against those two? I don't see it. I mean, I can see it, but I don't think it's realistic. It doesn't make sense after everything they've gone through. Roman has banished the bloodline. He doesn't want to see Jimmy and Jey until Christmas, which is pretty harsh. But, you know, that's, I guess that's just what he's going to do. So, yeah, that's past Survivor Series War Games. So does that mean Roman's at War Games? Yes, no? Or does it mean he's not at War Games? Does it mean he's not going to be with them at War Games? Or are they going to come around to it? Is Jey turning heel? Is LA Knight ever going to get a push? Triple H, please. There's a lot of unknowns. And if you want me to try and answer them, maybe try some fantasy booking, then let me know in the comments down below. I don't really have much more to say because I don't know what I'm on about right now. So I'm going to leave it there because the rest of the video would just be rambling. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe with your post notifications on to be updated on what more is to come from the channel. As I said, I had a couple ideas a second ago that you can let me know down below if you want them, or any, yeah, that's a cue to end the video, or any other videos you'd like to see, and I'll definitely get to them if you leave them in the comments or my community page thing. Other than that, that's about it. Leave your thoughts on everything, and yeah, that is literally it. Hype the video as well if you've got that option. Hype the channel, hype the video, you know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, I'll see you next time. If you haven't, then maybe I won't, but I'll be here anyway. So if you do want to join, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.